This initiative is last summer I was able to go to a 4-day PD, and it was started by Kids on the Move, and the main premise, it was called the Kids on the Go Appalachian Project, and it brought yoga, or it brought people together from around this area to help kids, or to teach us how to teach yoga to kids after trauma and different incidences in their lives. And because of that training, it inspired me to want to do more yoga and do more yoga in the classroom, because we all know, studies, research-based shows, that exercise can reduce behaviors of concern. People who do exercise regularly have a better increased attention span and reduce aggression. And like I said earlier, I was hoping in the classroom that we could reduce certain behaviors. Okay, go ahead. Yoga can help with primitive reflex integration, and it can increase attention to task, and it can also, studies have shown that it can aid in the retention of information. Okay. Things that I purchased with my money from the KVET grant: yoga mats, blocks, blankets, straps, balls, books, and a big, huge bean bag. Things that I went ahead and purchased afterwards that I hadn't really thought about during the time is I downloaded some yoga music from iTunes, some yoga cards showing different poses for the kids. There was a yoga curriculum. There are certain authors that write books that tell yoga stories, and the kids can act out their poses. I've purchased a few of those. Some posters, a speaker, just so we can amp the music up, and poses. So here are my 3 little angels: monkey see no evil, hear no evil, speak no evil. And I did our school is a beautiful new school, if you've never been there, and it has this common area right outside the speech room. So we sort of turned that into our makeshift yoga room from time to time. All right. So we were able to do a yoga bulletin board and put our yoga materials out in that common area. Okay. I started off targeting the first grade classroom. I'm really close friends with one of the first grade teachers, and she just welcomed it, because a lot of times, because we did combine 3 different schools to make up West Perry Elementary. She has 30 kids at a time, and they transfer through her room. And she felt like she wasn't able to get to know these kids as much and target some of their behaviors and help attention. So we started off in her room. This is Thanksgiving. We did a Thanksgiving. Each month I tried to do a different theme with the kids. Here we are in her room doing some of the Thanksgiving poses. Go ahead. Here we are doing the mountain. We also went ahead, like I said, we did a Thanksgiving theme, and during that, our yoga flow consisted of things with, like the pilgrim, the cornucopia, thankfulness. And during the Thanksgiving theme, we really concentrated on thankfulness and being thankful. Oh, okay, great, thanks. Okay. Instead of nodding. Okay. Oh, wrong way. Okay. And the kids really got into it. They were showing off a little bit. I wish I was that flexible. Okay. All right. So after Thanksgiving came Christmas. We did a Christmas theme flow, and we also played reindeer games, and we had Santa delivering the packages and the reindeers jumping from the rooftops, and it was really fun. The kids really got into it. We also did a Winter Olympics Here we were snowboarding, like in January and February, we did a whole Winter Olympic theme. And they just really got into it. Of course, we had to have a couple of Saturday schools. So one Saturday was pajama day. So we did a, stay in bed sick day yoga flow with different poses. Okay. And like I said, first grade, my plan when I first wrote the grant was to look and see was to observe each class after we did yoga to see, were they able to follow directions easier? How was their attention to task? Did this help? Well, you start off with really big plans, but you realize as a speech therapist, you still have to go get your kids and stay on task and fix your targets and do therapy. So I wasn't able to observe and monitor and collect the data that I wanted to as closely. But I put my friend in charge of that, and some of her findings that she said was the students were more relaxed. It got out all their wiggles. They were able to calm down, and it helped their system flow. Then that she did see some, she felt like they had improved attention to task right after the yoga classes. And then after the theme classes, like I said, the Thanksgiving, Christmas, Winter Olympics, they would talk about the content and request to do some of the poses. I actually, like I said, my role is a speech therapist at the school. So when I would go in and pick up some of my kids, they were like, why does Brennan get to go with the yoga teacher? Why does Brennan get to go to yoga? So I turned from being the speech teacher to the yoga teacher, which was kind of sweet. And something else, that if it's raining and when it was yucky and it was cold outside, they would want to do yoga. Instead of just staying in the class and do a movie, she would get up with them, and I left her the outline, and they would get up and do some of the yoga poses and go through the yoga flow. Okay. Now, prior to test taking, Miss Fields will have her kids get up. They'll do some breathing. They'll do some strengthening poses. They'll do the tree, the mountain, just some really grounding and focusing poses. And the kids really like that. And they will ask to do that, which I think is really exciting. But here is one of the main reasons that I wanted to do the yoga classes. This is my exceptional children's class. This class is a mixed group, differing abilities. We have several nonverbal kids in here, a lot of kids, some kids on the spectrum, and they loved it. I have an awesome occupational therapist that works with me, and she has taught me so much about the reflexes and tone and working, both hemispheres and both sides of your brain together. And it's just something that we both could get in and help. Not only were we doing yoga, but we were also incorporating our speech therapy and our occupational therapy together and helping these kids out. Now, at first, it was a little like herding cats. They had to get into it, and we had to teach them, and it was a lot of over and over and over. But Tuesday mornings, every other Tuesday morning, we get together, and oh my gosh, this is crazy. I'm sorry. One of the big things, though, that I want to take away from doing the yoga is, like, these kids they didn't want to put themselves out there. They had a lot of trouble with occupational therapy, and they had a lot of sensory issues. But by the end of, here we are, we've gone from simple poses to more poses incorporating a lot of different muscle movements and stuff. And now I have a little boy, once we read My Many Colored Days from Dr. Seuss, which paired animals with colors and sounds, he'll make up his own poses now. And he'll come in and he'll be like, I found a new pose. It's called the penguin. And he'll teach me his pose. We did a yoga journal for first grade. after the first grade went home, they wanted to, some of the little girls in that room that are in the Girl Scouts, well, they contacted me to do a yoga outreach. So we've done some yoga with the Girl Scouts using all our materials, and they loved it. It was a lot of fun. And now we have a yoga club for the teachers. They just wanted to stay and do yoga, and it's kind of just spread, and that's what I wanted, and I think that's what KVEC and the Fire Initiative, it started that spark, and I hope it continues. Thank you.